Every 4x4 gets stuck in the mud somewhere. You've just got 10 more miles to walk out. Hi everybody, and a warm welcome back to Maple Leaf Customs in Switzerland. I'm Andrew, and on the bench today is a pair of off-road legends. This is a 1:64 scale Hot Wheels Chevy Blazer, big lift kit, oversized 4x4 tires, there's a roof rack and a light bar that's been molded together with the windows. There's no back window. This one's a Matchbox Toyota Landcruiser. I need to crack it open too. Not nearly as seriously lifted up off the ground as the Blazer was, but just as much a heavyweight competitor. A little bit of chain and some tools in the back bed. I see a trailer hitch and a little bit of suspension detailed on the bottom of the chassis. See the snorkel on the driver's side? Okay, nice pair. Some similarities and some differences. This is going to be a head-to-head competition to see if done in identical liveries, who wore it best. They both get taken apart on my bench vise. This is where they're very similar, just a couple of rivets to be drilled out with a 2mm drill bit. Now this is the rare instance in one of my videos where I've actually got extensive experience driving each of these. I co-owned a broken down old Chevy Blazer with a fishing buddy of mine way back in my 20s. It had already been beaten to death by the time we got it. Floor was basically rusted out, but we put it through its paces, finding the most secret fishing holes in eastern Ontario. It was far from comfortable in the state that it was in, but it never let us down. A real workhorse. Years later, I found myself doing international relief work in the jungles of West Papua, Indonesia, where I had a Toyota Landcruiser, the vehicle that all of the expat workers swore by. A little bit newer than my Blazer was, but even more extreme conditions. And again, never had an issue. So I'm torn here between which one I would choose, and I'm going to leave this up to being just a beauty contest. I think I'll be shaving off that roof rack and light bar. The Matchbox Landcruiser was a 4-seater. Here you can see the Hot Wheels Blazer is a 2-seater. And again, with the much more pronounced lift kit on it. I'm going to pop out the original wheels from both of these kits. Nothing really wrong with them, except they're all plastic. I'm going to use a set of these rubber Samed wheels on the Blazer. They're extra large as well, same size as what just came out. The axles are the right length as is. So, with no further work, that's a good fit. That's the same ride height as it was. Look, here's an extreme urban off-roader. Now, the Landcruiser tires are a little bit smaller, but I'm still upgrading with some Sameds. Size bigger as you can see, so I'm going to have to fiddle with the ride height on that just a bit. Sam Wheels has everything that you're looking for, including off-road tires. So use the promo code MAPLELEAF and you'll get an extra 10% off your next order. It's already time for my summer road trip buddy build series of videos with friends, starting with my celebrity car, Janis Joplin's Porsche 356 SC. There's a steampunk theme. I've got a rally car build. And the last one is a family vacation theme. I hope you'll be back for each one of these. Curves ahead. The Blazer is a model nameplate used by General Motors for its Chevrolet brand since 1969 for several SUV models. There's the full-size Chevy K5 Blazer, based on the CK pickup chassis and built from 69 to 95. It was renamed Blazer in 1992 and renamed again Tahoe in 1995 for the two-door and the four-door model. There's the compact and mid-size S10 Blazer, based on the S10 pickup, built from 83 to 2012, the Grand Blazer, which was sold in Argentina, Brazil, and Ecuador from 1990 to 2000, and the Blazer EV, a battery electric mid-size crossover produced since 2023. A veritable cacophony of Blazers for the off-road enthusiast to choose from over the years. Today's community shout-out goes to 164Bob, whom I follow on Instagram, and you can too by checking the link that I left in this video description. Tell him that Maple Leaf Customs sent you by. In my effort to make the Blazer and the Landcruiser as similar as possible, I've decided to shave away the molded roof rack and light bar that was part of this window assembly. Now I'm going to have to go to work filling the hole in the die-cast chassis that it used to occupy. The Landcruiser, also sometimes spelt as the single word Landcruiser, is a series of four-wheel drive vehicles produced by the Japanese automobile manufacturer Toyota. Production of the first generation of the Landcruiser began way back in 1951. The Landcruiser's reliability and longevity have led to huge popularity, especially in Australia, where it's the best-selling body-on-frame four-wheel drive vehicle. Toyota extensively tests the Landcruiser in the Australian outback, considered to be one of the toughest off-roading environments in both temperature and terrain. It's Toyota's longest-running series of models. As of 2019, the sales of the Landcruiser totaled more than 10 million units worldwide. The most adventurous thing that happened while I was driving mine in Indonesia was a head-on collision with a wild boar. No damage to the 4x4, but the pig didn't fare as well. Just gorgeous, don't you think? Once they both get primered up, the Landcruiser and the Blazer are starting to look a little more similar. And now the fun begins. I'm using some acrylic light brown by Vallejo on both of them. Remember, I'm looking for an identical livery here. So same paint goes onto the same primer for each casting. Nice flat matte finish on both at this stage. Now to dress them up a bit. I've chosen the North Face logo because it's easily identifiable, strong and bold. This will give them a matching look. I apply it to both side doors and the hood on each one of the castings. They won't look this clean when I'm all done. There are lots of little details which will help make these look a little more realistic, starting with the snorkel on the Toyota Landcruiser. I hand paint some Tamiya semi-gloss black on here. My other main focus for detail was the roof racks and cargo, light bars, some guy wires. You can see all the work that I put into the Landcruiser. The Blazer got a 3D printed snorkel and winch and roof rack and cargo. So, remaining distinctly different, they're starting to take on a similar appearance. And now for the requisite muddying up of the off-roaders with the aptly named Mud Brown. I've turned the PSI on my air compressor down to about 14 for this procedure. And make sure the tires are well coated, and behind the tires, on the hood, everywhere where trail dust and mud is going to get kicked up. Homemade black wash gets applied liberally over all the castings. It finds its way into the door jambs and the shot lines. I can wipe off any excess that's here, and it dries a little bit lighter than you see it going on, of course. I want there to be no doubt that these are safari-hardened off-roaders. There should be no second guessing that. Let's have a closer look. There's the Blazer. And clean is not the first word that should come to mind. But I think it's a really authentic look if you're actually using this for the purposes it's designed for. The new tires maintain the same lift and stance as the original had. Let's see the Landcruiser. Same color, same livery, same winch, same style roof rack and cargo, just a little bit longer for the design. Light bar, guy wires, lots of muddy detail on there. That's also ready for the car wash, but probably not going to see one, because what would be the point? Here they are, side by side, before I went wild on them. Two off-roading legends, now looking as they were meant to. Now done up in identical North Face livery and colors, well muddied. You tell me, who wore it best? Weigh in below with your thoughts on this fashion face-off. I imagine each comment will be flavored by some personal preferences for Chevy or Toyota, but that's okay too. It's all for fun. Thanks so much for joining me again for another visit at Maple Leaf Customs. Buckle up when you're off-roading. It's coffee time.